Okay, loves, it is approximately 8:54 a.m. on the eastern side, but we done flipped them poles, so it might be western. I don't know. It's October 25th, October 27th, 2025, and I just want to jump on here real quick just to give a quick recap about the tarot spread that I did yesterday during yesterday's transmission called Fear of Old Age. Okay, so fear of old age, excuse me. One second. Let me just hop on here. Y'all know I had to write this down, right? I had to write it down. We're doing too much. Okay, so the fear of old age, which is Gerascophobia, is basically talking to us about the fear of aging, right? The fear of decline and the loss of vitality. All right, but beneath that, it's a fear of irrelevance, invisibility, and spiritual stagnation. Okay, so remember, we started off with fear of old age, right? So it's going to bring us back into like a historical and cosmic type of context. Okay, for example, fear of old age. We went all the way back as far as years of 250 million years ago. This was the Permian Triassic extinction, okay? This is the root of aging anxiety, okay? So this fear, it isn't new. This fear, it isn't new. It's encoded in our planetary memory, in the cycles of death and rebirth, okay? We can go all the way back to ancient societies, right? That revered their elders versus now modern societies that are discarding them. But why are modern societies discarding their elders? Were the elders implementing the correct information for us to learn from? Right? Were our elders in fear of old age? So they implemented so much information in us that was probably false or misinformation, right? Based on what they thought or what they knew or what they constructed, right? So let me go back to my notes. We also went over spiritual contracts in the society systems, okay? For example, we went into the 144,000 and how all the contracts have been broken. Those who no longer fear aging are released, okay? What is aging, right? What is fear? What is aging? That's what it's taking us back to, all right? The Trafficking Victims Protection Act. All right, media and beauty culture also reinforces the fear of aging, okay? They were silenced for years. The Trafficking Victims Protection Act gave them a voice. Now, who are we talking about? It was enacted in 2000, marked the United States' first sweeping federal commitment to confront human trafficking by offering a clear legal definition of both sex and labor trafficking. The TVPA pioneered a comprehensive national strategy encompassing three key priorities: protection for survivors, prosecution of traffickers, and prevention of future exploitation. Okay. To me, they only give out certain stories, or they only let certain stories publicize. They're not giving us the true stories as to what's happening within these victims, these trafficking victims, okay? Typically, they are searching for, and this is what they want in the storyline, they're searching for addicts, prostitutes, criminals, those that didn't have family, those that were not loved, those that are alone, okay? They also look for the brown beings. Why? Because our body parts, our organs, our blood is way more valuable than any other. Correct? So a lot that they leave out, they will, for example, they will post stories of someone named Heather Pagan, right? Her name is literally Heather Pagan from South Carolina, who endured 18 years of sex trafficking after meeting an abuser at 14. Again, young, right? Families not paying attention. Mother and dad probably was overworked, or they were addicts, right? They didn't care, okay? Would later testify to lawmakers, this label that has been stuck to me my whole life. You're just an addict. You're just a prostitute. You're a criminal. Now had just been stripped off me. So stories like hers underscore the urgency of a law that could provide survivors with a clear path to justice and support. Fear of old age, okay? We also went over the Ace of Cups in the reverse, which was blocked emotions. Fear of receiving love, okay? Unable to receive love because your emotions are totally blocked off, right? Clarity and boundaries, right? You're a truth teller. So you have clarity, you have boundaries. That's your Queen of Swords, okay? What else I got here? The cards revealed names, dates, and locations tied to the fear, like in Miami, DC, August 13th, 2009. That could be very relevant. We also went over 6 names within the transmission. So check out the transmission that was posted on October 26, 2025. It was titled Fear of Old Age, so you can get an idea as to what I'm talking about. It's about an hour-long transmission. Okay, the music spoke out to us. The music is the soul, the rhythm is the spirit. The music mentioned songs like Natural by Imagine Dragons, Ironic by Alanis Morissette, Promise by Sierra, but they reflect aging and anxiety as well. Or is it just manipulation? We went over family and ancestral codes. That was the fear of aging. It shows up in our families, like grandmothers, uncles, mothers, even ourselves. So, for example, my mother, the woman who was on my birth certificate, my mother, she passed away at the age of 60, what was it, 61 or 62 or something like that? I can't remember, right? But she passed away very young, and that's happening quite frequently in all communities, right? It used to be the brown community that was getting attacked very heavily. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease. I mean, you name it, they was trying to give it to us. Correct, stroke, all that. But something's happening. Maybe because the poles was flipped. Maybe because we have 3 different suns in our atmosphere. Maybe because so much truth is being revealed that we're not really aging if you pay attention. Don't do the birthdays. So then we also have healing begins when we name the fear and honor the wisdom of age, okay? So when you don't fear old age, you unblock everything and you unblock everlasting wealth. That's what I mean by everything, okay? You unblock everything. All that negativity that's stored up in our sacral womb, all that negativity that's been stored up in us, all that fear, right? It's now gone. It's turned into everlasting wealth. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen offerings. I trust the cycles of life. So I want you to ask yourself, what contracts are you ready to break? Right? And genuinely, write that in the comments. What contracts are you ready to break? All right, loves. So that's all that we're going to get into today. Recapping fear of old age. Yep, my first time doing a recap after tarot transmissions, but I plan on doing this quite often just to give a broader insight as to what I'm thinking when I'm pulling these cards, or what the energies were delivering to me when I was pulling these cards, okay? Because it's not typically what I was thinking, or is it, right? But it's mostly about the energies and the spirits that was coming in and out of the transmission to give us these messages through the portals. All right, much peace, much light, much love, but especially much darkness.